Let's do things the right way, and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing as a family, and let's make America great again.
Necesitamos a Trump. Let's make America great again.
A lot of Latinos, we stand strong next to President Trump. Let's make America great again. Let's go.
I'm just happy we in good hands. I know this 4 years is going to be one hell of a run. I know he's going to do a lot of great things for the whole Spanish community. Especially, we're going to make America great again.
I'm glad I gave that vote to Mr. Trump, and me and Anuel AA are here supporting. Que viva Puerto Rico, and let's make America great again.
Congratulations, President Trump.
We need you. We need you back, right?
Do you know who they are? Do you know who the hell they are? Come up here, just fast, fellas, come on. Because I don't know if these people know who the hell you are. But it's good for the Puerto Rican vote. Nikki Jam, do you know Nikki? She's hot.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop. And we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-Blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-Blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this. And the reason why is what we all have in common. We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop pointing the finger in both communities and make the decision that we are going to choose to be united versus divided. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but here are examples of how you can show up differently and be the change you want to see. Number 1, share stories of solidarity. Share stories of love. Share stories of when you have experienced the Black or Latino community showing up in your spaces. We need to shift the narrative. Number 2, if your reality is division between the Black and Latino community and your goal is unity, then it is up to you to seek out examples of when the Latino and Black communities show up for one another, where they show love, where there is actual solidarity, because guess what? It exists. And if you need a place to start with me. I am happy to be a part of your network of Latinos who have nothing but love for our Black sisters and brothers. Number 3, ask your neighbors how you can be helpful. You need to lead with your heart in this moment. That is the only way that we are going to experience an actual shift. We have to show up as human beings. We have to show up vulnerable. We have to show up as the change that we want to see. Lastly, ask others to join you. Let's actually start in the comments. Share your stories of solidarity and love. If members of the Latino and Black community have a hard time seeing it, let's show them how it's actually done. I stand with my Black brothers and sisters, and I also stand with my Latino familia. But the change, it starts with us. I love you.
Why are Black people saying this is not our fight making you upset? I've seen video after video from Latino creators or Latino people coming online pleading to Black people to put our bodies at the forefront of this fight against illegal ICE raids, against deportation, against roundups, against undocumented people being rounded up and families being disjointed. But there's several reasons as to why you should not be shocked that Black people are sitting this one out. You guys all remember that this is a subset of your community last year.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote.
You're also aware that across the board, overwhelmingly Black people voted in favor of the candidate that had Black interests, Latino interests, Asian interests at heart. Where if you look at the sentiments of what that vote represents, half of your community voted for this. Half of your community said F you to Black people. Half of your community said, we don't care about you. Half of your community said you wanted to be white aligning and white adjacent. And now you're being reminded of the fact that you're not. We have to have the ability to hold multiple truths when we speak to each other as communities. The truth is that Latinos are not a monolith. It's just an all-encompassing umbrella that they put you under. And that, yes, the majority of the people that voted for Donald Trump and were doing that were Cuban and were other people in different parts of the country, and undocumented people in Mexico, in California are being impacted by that. That is true. But what's also true is that there is a history of Black people fighting and being at the forefront of civil rights in this country since the inception of civil rights in this country. And it's always been pushback and non-solidarity from multiple communities who are voting and always going against Black people. So this particular time when Black women especially really came out in droves and really fought forward with our votes, and you guys didn't do it, your community didn't do it, it's like, why would I fight now? Why would I fight now? So I just need you, like, if you're going to come online and make pleas and ploys to Black people, because I've seen so many video, start by acknowledging the fact that your community has colorism, anti-Blackness, and voted against your own best self-interest. Start with that. Don't come in here and ask Black people just to put our bodies at the forefront of the line, because we've been doing that for a century. Secondly, I think the majority of Black people who are saying that they're sitting this one out are using their voice in other ways or having solidarity with you in other ways, but they're not going to protest. They're not going to go get hit by rubber bullets. They're not going to put themselves in harm's way or make that effort again, because you guys, it's time for you to fight for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Now, there's also a bunch of Black people online who are asking Black people to come out and fight for everyone, and everyone needs to fight, and this is our fight as well. While I do agree with a lot of those sentiments, because if they're doing it to brown citizens, they can do it to Black citizens, and they can use the Congo and Haiti as an excuse to just racially profile all of us. That's very true. But you have to stop telling Black people to put themselves on the line when Black people are exhausted. Black people are exhausted. Black people have done so much for all communities in this country. At a certain point, there has to be a time where they need to rest. And right now, a bunch of people are resting, and that's fine. But there will always be people in our community who fight. Like, I'm using my voice every fucking day on this app. I've made an update about every single thing going on with ICE raids, locations, where they are, what's happening with Trump. I do it every day on my social page, and it's exhausting. Like, I'm actually exhausted. Today, I put up like 10 posts. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing it because I know my voice has reach, and I know that people need to hear it. And that's my personal choice. I'm not doing it because I feel obligated. So stop trying to make people feel obligated to put themselves on the line again. I say that to say it's a lot of fucked up shit happening in this country. I know that people and families, I was in tears last night seeing people self-deport themselves and people getting rounded up, grandfathers and grandmothers and abuelitas getting taken away, who are the people who are the fabric of this city in LA. But I just know that it doesn't end here, and there are Black people on that list. There are Black countries on that list. There are Black countries on that list, and I'll say that to you again. There are Black countries on that list.
Protest.
You know what's crazy to me? It's crazy to me that you're only calling out Black people and Black celebrities. In regards to BLM, you ain't got no fucking celebrities? There ain't no Mexican celebrities? Y'all get y'all asses on the internet. Latino people like you piss me the fuck off, because y'all get y'all ignorant asses on the internet and say stupid ass shit, and then think for some odd reason that somehow Black people are gonna support you after you say dumb, ignorant ass shit on the internet. You are not entitled to our voices or our support, period. Especially when you don't give it in return. Let's be very clear. There is anti-Blackness that is deeply rooted in your community. Deeply. It's so deep that it doesn't just affect Black Americans. It affects your own Afro-Latinos in your own fucking community. And you got the audacity to be sitting over here trying to talk about us? The fucking gall. I don't hear none of you Latino people that have this fucking perspective when it comes to Black people saying or doing shit like this to Asian people, Middle East. You were talking about Palestine, talking about please correct me if I say anything wrong. Well, you said Palestine, it was Palestine, but You want to sit here and talk about us, but you don't ask support from any. How about indigenous people? Did you ask them for their support? Y'all intertwine like this too. So I'm confused as to why you're only speaking on black people. The fuck is wrong with you? This is why education is elevation. You should probably educate yourself before you get on the internet and making stupid ass comments about shit you don't understand and shit you don't know. It is literally Latino people like you that make people in my community not want to fucking support y'all asses, because why the fuck is it always our problem or our fight when y'all don't do the same and reciprocate the same shit? You want to know how many people I saw at the George Floyd protest that were Latino? Right. You want to know how recently many people I saw around the Supermercado area in off of Lake Street in Minnesota? Multiples. Multiple. I saw multiple people and multiple black people, which is crazy because y'all don't do the same for us. But you got your ass up on the internet and opened your fucking mouth and said this ignorant ass shit, not knowing that it is deeply rooted in white supremacy. The fucking gall. The next time you think about getting your ass on the internet, throw the thought away. Go back, unpack your anti-blackness that is deeply rooted in your community, which starts with mom, dad, and abuelita. Go back and unpack anti-blackness first before you get your ass on this internet and think you're entitled to anything black people do. Fuck.
I gotta keep it a bean. The last few weeks, this black fatigue stuff has been weighing heavy on a lot of these races. Now I'm seeing a lot of Latinos, Hispanics want a lot of support now. And where the black people at? Where the black folks help us out? I don't know what black fatigue was just a buzzword, and y'all needing some help. Y'all looking like,
For everyone saying that they're going to sit this one out when it comes to the protests and when it comes to everything that is happening with immigrants right now in the States, because us Latinos majority voted for this, I wanted to touch on a couple of subjects. If you feel that you need to sit this one out, it's your right. Completely understood. If you understood that us in the Latino community, we are also upset with the people that voted for this. If you break it down, the people that are being attacked right now, which is majority Mexicans, over 60% of them didn't vote for this. Over half, more than half of Puerto Ricans also didn't vote for this. The Latino breakdown, the majority that did vote for this were Cubans. And if you look at it by state, most states, Latinos did not vote for this. The ones that did were like Texas, Florida, those states, were not okay with it either. And I completely understand if you feel the need to sit this one out, I get it. But also, I want to put this into an analogy. If someone is drowning, that is not the time to tell them how they should have learned how to swim beforehand. If someone is drowning, all hands on deck. If you cannot get in the water with them and help them, you can throw a vest. You can put a stick out, pull them in. You don't wait until someone is down to step on them, especially with this community where the ones also being attacked didn't even have a right to vote. So they're not even included in this. All Latinos or majority Latinos voted for this. Again, we are angry as well. We are very angry at the Latinos that did, and we know that this is our fight for the ones that are being allies and for the ones that, again, maybe they're not going out and protesting, but they're sharing resources and they're just being allies. And that's, appreciated, because at the end of the day, what they are doing goes far beyond attacking the Latino community. It goes into they're violating human rights. They're violating the Constitution. They're violating due process. They are weaponizing the military. They are sending in the Marines. They're sending in the National Guard. And again, if we all think that this isn't going to go further and it only affects Latinos, whenever there's a protest in the future for any given reason, now they have precedent to weaponize our military against its citizens. It's just something to put it into context. And that's just something I wanted to address. I don't think this is the time to turn on one another. But again, I respect everyone's choice. And I'm just hoping and praying for the best, honestly.
Black and Latino division is profitable if they divide two of the most influential communities and create hatred amongst us. Then they profit. Some of our people from both communities are so brainwashed, our own people forget their roots. Forgetting your roots is a good thing because for them, if you forget where you came from, then you forget how powerful you are. When I dive into my presentation, Real Masters of STEM, I explain how the ancient Kemetic civilization has a lot of the STEM and technology that we use today, starting with the IFA and the binary code. Instead of dividing, we need to unite. We need to stop allowing people distract us from the truth, reduce the noise, learn more, and focus.
There's a lot of videos bringing us up. We was minding our business. We was silent. We was staying quiet. And how are these videos racist when y'all had the same mindset for Latinos for Trump? It's okay for y'all to do it, but when we do it, it's a problem. Who's behind it? The ones who kept bringing us up. We was minding our business. We didn't start this shit, but we is gonna end it. And it wasn't the rich and powerful. It was the cocky. Y'all was cocky when y'all was up there.
Why are Latinos asking Black people to join them in the protest? But last month, Black people asked Latinos to stop saying the N-word because Black people find it disrespectful when Latinos say the N-word. And Latinos were so offended that they started disrespecting the Black community. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I want to say something. If you've been following me for a while or have gone through my videos recently, you see that I'm constantly pushing for unity between communities. Majority of the Black people in the comments are stating how they get a lot of disrespect from the Latinos, and majority of the Latinos in my comments are actually really disrespectful to the Black community. And I've been pushing for unity because these protests are not where we're going to unite. There's something bigger to come where we need that unity. And something that I've been noticing during these protests is a lot of Latinos are asking the Black community for help. And when the Black community states how they don't want to, or they don't feel like they should, Latinos are disrespecting them with racial slurs. There's a video circulating on the internet where a Latina is yelling the N-word in a very derogatory form to a Black police officer. How is that helping our cause when we're asking the Black community to join us? There's videos on the internet where the comment section is full of hate from Latinos to Black people because the Black community doesn't want to join us on the protest. And while sure, I agree that this is everybody's fight, Latinos, we need to take responsibility and acknowledge the fact that this is our fault. I find it very ghetto and disrespectful for us to be saying the N-word. I find it very disrespectful for us to be even saying the M-word, that stands for Beatles in Spanish. And while I am going to have a lot of people in the comments saying that this is all politics and about the Latinos for Trump BS, this has nothing to do with politics because it is before Trump took office. We were put against each other back in the 1970s and the 1980s. And we're a product of that now because it was our parents that were put against one another. Why? Must I remind you that back in the 1960s when we were all united, we actually got things done, like the Civil Rights Act movement. Latinos tend to forget that Black people, the Black community, were out protesting for field worker rights, immigration rights with us. And the Black community tends to forget that there were Latinos marching with Martin Luther King Jr. down to the point that we do have a statue for MLK in Mexico because MLK was a huge impact in the Latino community. And while I do not agree with Cesar Chavez and the stuff that he did to the immigrants in the United States, Cesar Chavez, amongst many other Latinos, were marching with MLK. Black Panthers were protecting Mexicans, while Black Panthers also helped start the Brown Berets. We have a lot of history together, and this is why divided we stay conquered, because together we get things done. So no, I'm not asking the Black community to come out and march with us, to protest with us, because this is something small compared to whatever is about to come. I'm asking the Latino and the Black community to take accountability for whatever we have going on and start asking yourselves, why have we been put against each other? And why have some of us actually gone along with the way that they want us against each other? Why is there hate amongst each other when we've done nothing but unite in the past and get things done? Where does this hate come from? I've had my fair share of experiences with racist people in the past, but those people do not define the communities that they come from for me. There's always going to be racists within each community. So to my fellow Latinos, we've needed unity for a long time from other communities, and now we're reaping the consequences of us being hateful towards other communities. We even have hate within ourselves. And until we take accountability and change that, no one's going to come out to our rescue. Food for thought.
A whole lot of Hispanic people is wanting Black people to stand up for them for these ICE raids. And a lot of Black people is getting online saying they're not going to do that, okay? Because of y'all voting for Trump. Now, understand that a lot of these people that's talking about it lives in South Florida. I live in, I don't know what part of Florida this is, but I stay near the airport. Anyway, all I know is that if we never stand together, we're always going to be separated. I know that you don't want to risk your life for them. I get that. But at the same time, would y'all risk your life for us? We gotta ask that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it can go vice versa. But if we always, you know what I'm saying, never stand up for nobody, never be there for them, it's never going to be a time in history where we're actually standing all together. The only time is going to be in 2020.
No King's protest was a waste of time. You woke up this morning and Donald Trump is still your president. You made no difference. That's what they want you to think. They want you to quit. They want you to be tired. They want you to be embarrassed. While Donald Trump paraded around our military's power, planes and tanks, like we were supposed to be scared, you showed him the power of the people, the power of protest, and that scared them even more. Because real power does not march in a uniform. It walks the streets. It holds signs. It keeps fighting when no one is watching. Even when the news stops talking, you must still show up. And if one person felt seen, if one person felt brave enough to go to the next one because of what you did yesterday, you have made a difference. And you showed that the American people being united is a force to be reckoned with.
I've seen a lot of discourse online about, the Latinos for Trump, the going back and forth between the Latinos and the blacks. And I will say this, right? Where was y'all antennas when we was in that booth? When we was in that voting booth and we was telling y'all, because we did our research. We read, not all of us, but we read the Project 2025. I skimmed it, right? Read it most in its entirety, took the cliff notes, but this was literally in there. Him saying, we're going to militarize ICE. Like, that was in there. So while everybody was Latinos for Trump and we're going to vote for Trump, y'all fucked around and you found out, right? And then now here we are, supposed to join arms, join in forces on the front line. Baby, we was on the front line at that voting booth. If you scroll back to November on my page, y'all, I'm literally crying, crocodile tears, baby, after I voted for Kamala, right? And I'm like, okay, we're gonna do the right thing. That was literally one of the most heartbreaking things to watch. I stayed up. I was in my house crying real tears because there is no way that y'all knew what was gonna happen, or maybe not to this magnitude. Maybe you wasn't expecting it, but now look at you. And y'all want us to come out of the comfort of our home. As y'all can see, we've been line dancing, booting and scooting, minding our business. A couple of us done learned how to pick up that, that fire. I've been at the gun range myself, trying to make sure that we're prepared. So should something kick off, we know what we need to do. But now we got to stop what we doing to come help. Is you cool? I ain't got nothing for you. Nothing. Thoughts and prayers. Sorrows. What did Trump say? I have concepts of a plan. Concepts. So yeah. God bless you. Good luck.
Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti-blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent. Or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So to the Black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you, and I see you. Simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for, to be seen and to be appreciated for all they do.
As I said before, you getting on the internet rejoicing and basically saying, oh yeah, we not helping y'all, when nobody never asked for our help in the first place, you is definitely gonna be the reason why there is a race war in the future between this foolishness. Because the whole thing is, first of all, this is not the time to do that. This is like a very traumatic experience for a lot of kids. And we have people who are a part of the Black community getting on the internet saying, oh, we're not helping y'all. Well, that's what y'all get. First of all, you know the people that voted for this are not the ones outside protesting, right? Why would they vote for it, then be outside protesting against it? It's like 9 times out of 10, the people who did vote for that is not outside. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to go outside and protest, because I know that's the first thing everyone gonna say is, oh, we ain't gotta go outside and protest. No, you don't. But how are you out here rejoicing in the same people that was out there doing Black Lives Matter, getting their kids snatched away from them? And I keep seeing people say, oh no, they don't like us, they don't ever like us. Me personally, I've never had a bad experience. I don't know nobody that had a bad experience, and I live in Immigrant City. If you know, then you know. But besides all that, it's like, is this how y'all want to go down in history? Because your grandkids is going to look at this, their grandkids is going to look at this, and we know the same system that's oppressing us now probably will be oppressing us later, because we're not even doing what we got to do to kind of fight back against this system. But okay. But yes, how do you think the people in charge is going to spin this narrative? Because only thing we going to see is, okay, well, 2020 Black Lives Matter movement happened, and you've seen a lot of Hispanics and Latinos, or however, I don't even know, but all I know is it was them out there as well protesting with Black people. But then when the Hispanic community was under attack, or the Mexicans specifically, when their kids was getting snatched from them, Black people got on the internet and said out their own mouth, oh, that's not our problem, we're not getting involved in that. Oh, well, this our resting season, we don't got time for that. This is not going to be a good narrative in the future. I promise you it's not. And I know some of y'all going to say, oh, well, they don't like us. I live in South Florida. There are so many immigrants. And truth be told, here's the kicker. The people that did discriminate against me, they weren't even Hispanic. They all Black. So every Black person who I know have been profiled by a Black immigrant. But as far as I know, when I asked them about, like, or just curious about Hispanic immigrants, they all say, hell no, I never had a problem. They cool, they friendly. We all had pretty much decent experiences with them, but the Black immigrants, they calling us names in their language. If you have dreads or, you know, wicks in your head, yeah, they look at you sideways and they think you a thief or a robber. They think that you steal or rob, even if you're trying to help them. I think everyone look at us in a negative light, but at this moment right now, we should not be making it our business to get on the internet and celebrate the fact that they're attacking them and not us. Because first of all, we know we next. And not only that, it's like, how do you say, like, you don't have to get involved, but why are you on the internet making it your business to start a race war? That's pretty much what y'all trying to do. And I'm watching the shit firsthand. And next y'all go blame the CIA. This is not the CIA and this is not FBI. This is y'all. And then you have people going all the way back into the 1900s. You see, back then, they didn't like us. They couldn't stand us. Guys, I'm going to say this for all people with common sense. 2020 debunked that. If they didn't like Black people that much, they would not be outside during Black Lives Matter. We have to stop that shit. You cannot sink the whole boat and blame everybody just because somebody called you bald head in the 5th grade. Be for real. As I said before, I live in South Florida. A lot of them never had a problem. Don't know nobody who had a problem with them. They seem pretty friendly and cool down here. I don't know. And I'm not debunking any of y'all experiences, but stop getting on here saying like you speaking for the whole black community, because no the hell you not. You're not speaking for me. I would never be okay with somebody's child getting snatched from them and kids being left literally abandoned because their parents have been snatched and deported. And then it's like us as a community who go through the same oppression, we should not be rejoicing in that just so we could say, we told you. Like, and the people outside, I'm sure they did not vote for that. I don't care what nobody say. The people outside did not vote for that. I don't care what rapper or singer you sing, make a song. The same way how all black celebrities don't speak for all of us, the same way how their community, their celebrities don't speak for them. Moral of the story, can we stop making it our job to join these hate campaigns? Because in the future, your grandkids is going to have to live in the same system, and the system is going to spin it and cause a whole nother race war. The same way how y'all keep saying, oh, well, back in the 1900s, they couldn't stand us. And you see that started from someone's grandparents. So how about we be the generation that we are, like the mature generation, the smart generation, and not feed into the BS? Because your grandkids is gonna see this, and the same way how y'all saying, oh yeah, Mexicans don't like it, that is gonna run off into the next generation. And guess what the Mexican kids gonna be saying, or the Hispanics gonna be saying? Black people can't stand us. We went out there during 2020, during Black Lives Matter, and we supported them, but when we got deported, black people opened up out their own mouths and said, we're not helping them. That is going to be a bad-ass look in the future. Bad look. When y'all grandkids and kids see this, and when their grandkids and kids see this, it's going to start a whole race war. Because it is.
Hey, fellow Latinos, I'm not saying it's okay or right that black people are like, no, let them fend for themselves. I mean, honestly, it is okay, but I'm not saying like, yes, let's do that, because unity is what helps us. But also, like, I know it's not supposed to be transactional. I just need you guys to start thinking, because you guys are like, all gung-ho, active out there, unified together in the streets now. But where were you when the George Floyd protests were? I personally was out there with my friends who were Asian, Pacific Islander, Mexican, and Puerto Rican. And then I'm Mexican myself, and a white husband. We were out there, okay? And I've gotten comments from people in my community, people in my family, who have been like, well, you think you're black. What about me? What about my content? What about the way I speak, the way I act? What about you makes you think that I think I'm black? Oh, because I advocate for black people too, as much as I advocate for my people? It shouldn't be transactional. You shouldn't have to have a dog in the fight to care. You should just have basic empathy. You should just care about people. You see a sad story, oh, you cry. You want to help out however you can. You guys see that all the time. You see a puppy in danger. Oh, let's rescue all the puppies. Why is it so hard to do with humans? Black people don't owe us anything. But even one of the major interviews going around about the guy whose girlfriend was taken because they were just recording, in that, there's a black man who's in the background, and he's like, si se puede. He's out there. He has nothing to gain from this. So think about that. Don't go back to the anti-blackness. Learn and stop saying the N-word. Do that. Stop saying the N-word and humble yourself. If black people tell you something's offensive, change it. Change it and don't become defensive.
But I am cognizant of the fact that there are nuances in the Black community and in their history that I will never be able to fully understand, regardless of how much I educate myself. I am the daughter of a Black Latina. My sister is a Black Latina. And even though that's the case, their experiences as Black women in America are not mine. And I won't even pretend to begin to understand those lived experiences, because even though I've experienced discrimination, it's a completely different experience to a phenotypically Black woman. I can't speak for all Latinos, but I know I would never require, expect, demand, or ask a Black person to ever put their lives at risk for any reason. That is the message that a lot of people understood from that video, and it wasn't the intent, but I do understand that once you put something out onto the internet, it is up for interpretation. I will not use this video to try and change anyone's mind or to try and sway any opinions. We are all entitled to our opinions. I will use it to switch gears. I will continue to direct the attention to my community, educate, talk, and focus on that. I want to also take the time to thank anyone and everyone who has shown up for Latinos during this time. A lot of you did not have to. A lot of you don't have to. You're not obligated. I want to specifically thank the Black women and men who are showing up in solidarity. I was at a protest yesterday and I saw you, and I was able to have a conversation with a couple of you. And I am eternally grateful because I know what you are putting on the line and I know what this means and I know the risk that you're taking. For that, I am grateful. I also wanted to thank those that are standing in solidarity in different ways through sharing resources. I've had a couple of people send me links to books on civil rights movements, links to things that I can read up on so that I can better assist my own community. And also to those who gave me the idea to start lobbying and told me that they can't physically put their lives on the line, but that they will show up to lobby. Something I didn't even think about, but I'm looking into. And so thank you to all those that without having to are showing up. It's something that I will never, ever forget. And anyone that knows me personally, knows that I fight for human rights, no matter who, no matter when, no matter what. I have shown up. I will continue to show up. And again, I can't speak for all Latinos, and I won't even pretend to speak for all Latinos. But this Latina here, I will always show up. And so that's the message. That's the message.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.